Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Actors Area. I'm your host, Sean Robert Grant. Threw the Robert in there for you a little bit. But anyway, thank you for joining me here on this fantastic, wonderful, awesome Tuesday. And it is just an awesome day to be alive. It is an awesome day to follow your passions. It is an awesome day to follow your goals and just use your God-given talents to inspire people around the world, people in your community, wherever it is. It's just really, really a great feeling to be able to do that. And I'm excited that I get a chance to do that with you now. And today's episode is a special one. I know I say that all the time, but it truly is, because it's something that I've experienced in my life, and it may be something that you're going through. And it's just something I feel like we need to talk about. And part of being an artist is basically just using your experience, right? Using your experience to be in a position to where you are inspiring others with the circumstances that you've been given. And so let's just get right into it. So looking at the title, it's your career, your life, FUCK, everything else. Okay. A bit crass and in your face it is, but at the same time, this is what it comes down to when it involves not only your career, but your purpose, your life, your dream that God or the universe, whichever you call to, has put you here to accomplish, to thrive, to succeed at. And so I think as artists, and we talk about this all the time, especially as actors or any type of film industry occupation, we at one point in time in our lives have experienced I call it outside friction, and it can come from just about anywhere, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's associates, whether it's perfect strangers, no matter who it is. I think what you have to be completely mindful and aware of, especially when you delve into a career like this, is that, and this happens in life as well, but people will try and place their beliefs on you to not directly, but indirectly try and discourage you from moving forward with something that is unorthodox, something that is unconventional. And I say this because I immediately experienced this in every single career that I chose with my mom. And what's crazy is she was not doing anything wrong. In turn, she was trying to protect me. So she believed by basically wanting me to get a job that was safe, get a job that guaranteed a paycheck every 2 weeks, that guaranteed that I would always have money to do this and do that. Well, here's the thing. When you start chasing money and you start doing stuff for money, you hit burnout really fast. And I'm talking about like extremely fast, because if your soul is not in a place to where it is engaging in that creative process that it needs so much, that's like fuel to your spirit, you will get burned out. And that's exactly what happened to me when I decided that I was going to do what she said as opposed to do what my heart was telling me. So it came to a place, and I've always been a performer. I was even reflecting back on my life earlier today, and I thought about how, when I used to do these runway shows and like I used to perform at school, dancing and stuff, and then the acting and then different plays and then finally doing movies and everything. I've always been a performer, and that's always, even on the football field, that was performing. That's always spoken to my spirit unlike anything else. And what happened was eventually And I didn't tell her this because I didn't want to get slapped into next week. But eventually what happened, I said, it's my career. It's my life. Fuck everything else. I'm about to make this happen. And when I tell you, she was not a happy camper. And she was not optimistic in the least bit about what I was doing. But here's what started to happen. I followed my heart. I followed what I wanted to do. And before I knew it, I started to be able to make money doing what I loved, right? I started to be at a place. One second. Oh, how you doing, my man? Thanks, man, bro. Appreciate it. Sorry about that. Just got a package from the UPS guy. Anyway, so getting back into it, I started to follow just basically doing what I love, doing what spoke to my heart. And money started to come in. And a lot of money started to come in. And before I knew it, I was in this situation, in this place in my life where I was waking up excited, ready to do exactly what I love and get paid for it. Sometimes I would even make my rent 2 times over in one day. And that, if you're involved in acting or entertainment, you know that this is possible when you're going overtime and then having different stipulations come into play with the union and whatnot. So, but the fact of the matter is, I can remember being on set for 17 or 18 hours out of the day, and I was absolutely loving it. I was in such a wonderful place. I knew that this is where I was supposed to be. This is what I was supposed to be doing. This is what I was supposed to be sharing with the world and with so many other people. And it just ignited, an explosion within my heart. And I say this because I want you, whether you're an actor or not and you're tuning in, what does that to you? What does that to your inner spirit? What puts you in a place of making your soul sing like the woman at the opera who's hitting the high note on the very last moment of the show? Like, what does that to you? And when you find out what does that, you follow it no matter what. You follow it and you make provisions. And, that can be the hardest thing sometimes because basically the old adage is, everybody knows how to live our lives better than we do. And I say that with immense sarcasm, but it's the truth. When we look back on things, people are always telling us how to do this or how to do that, or maybe we should do this, or maybe we should do that. And like I said, it's not that they mean wrong by any standards. They just want to see us do well. They want to put us in a position to where they feel like we can succeed best. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. And this is what will continue to keep you rising to a higher level. There's this thing called your higher self. And your higher self is connected to God, connected to the universe, which knows all, sees all, bees all, can do all, right? So when we connect to that higher self, that will expose us and move us to our highest good, no matter what anyone else has to say. And at a young, tender age of 20-something, I discovered this higher self. And when I decided to tap into it, that's when things started to happen for me. That's when things started to unfold in a way that, man, I can do what I love and get paid for it. You might not, like I said, get paid instantly right away, but if you keep at it, keep doing what you truly embody in your soul and what you feel like you've been put on this earth to do, it will be something that will just blow your mind when you reach that point, if you're not there yet, of being able to do this. Because the truth of the matter is, you love it so much, you're going to do it for free. You're going to do it for free, and that's the bottom line. So the fact that you will do something for free, devote your time to it, proves that it's an added bonus when you can get paid for it. Okay, so moving right along. Where we're at now is you're basically getting tunnel vision as it relates to your life and your career. Okay, so like I said, nobody is ever going to see the vision for yourself like you can see it. And that goes with anything. Nobody will ever be able to see that vision. Honestly, it's like standing next to someone as you're watching a painting, as you're looking at a painting, and you're discovering all these different intricacies within the painting, and the other person is basically just seeing spots. And it just doesn't work that way. You got that dream because that dream was specifically tailored for you, the person that you are, your soul, not anybody else. So you've got to understand that there will be times where you feel very lonely on this trail towards finding whatever it is that makes your heart sing. But at the same time, don't get discouraged. Don't feel like you have to put things on hold. And I tell you this because here's what happens when you really embrace a higher level, your higher self rather, within your life, is you will go about different types of avenues that will make you better as it relates to the thing that you've been put on this earth to do. I was reading the book by T.D. Jakes. It's called Instinct. And he had a lot of great stuff in there. But one story that stuck out was he talked about how at one point in time for a season, which, basically is like 3 or 4 months, he was actually running a landscaping business. He was cutting grass. He was fixing people's lawns, manicuring lawns and stuff. And he had a crew, and it was basically a full-blown business for a season. And it provided, for him and his family at the time. But what it also did is it helped him to build certain characteristics and certain traits that would enable him to do his purpose where he is now much, much better. And I say that because don't get discouraged if you're working fast food or you're working in retail or you're waiting tables or you're at the desk job or you're doing something that is not relatable. One of the things that kind of irks me is people always say, well, you need to get into a job of where your purpose is. You need to get into a job of what your career is. That's great. But at the same time, until that happens, you don't know what kind of work God is doing in your life to make you build a character to be the very best version of you that you can be. Let me take you through it. All of the things that I did before I became an actor, before I became a coach and a teacher. So I started out, my very first job was at AMC, and it was basically just understanding the entire movie business, right? So it was fun. It was exciting because I love movies. I'm a performer. That worked well. But then after that, it went from that to unloading trucks at Big Lots and southeastern Louisiana heat, which is like 100 and something degrees with no air conditioner, only a fan. That was a huge character builder. That taught me basically how to push through, how to endure no matter what was happening. From there, I worked in retail at 6 or 7 different stores, just basically selling, learning the ins and outs of business and things of the sort. So, and then, I think along the lines, I sold credit card processing machines around Southeast Louisiana, just going from business to business, asking people if they wanted to buy these new credit card processing machines, which seems so crazy right now. And then I became a personal trainer. So when I look at all of those things that I encountered, all those things that I had the opportunity to do over the course of the time when I wasn't acting, everything contributed to me becoming a greater actor. Everything contributed to me becoming a better performer, a more humble person, a more disciplined person, someone who is more grateful for the opportunities that he receives in reference to his life's purpose. Okay, so stay with me. I'm going somewhere here. When we get to the point of realizing that it's all contributing, it's a puzzle, it's pieces contributing to a bigger puzzle, what happens immediately is that we begin to realize that we're not just doing this for ourselves. We're not just doing this for anybody else. We are doing this for ourselves. You have to know that where you are is contributing to more of an evolution on your journey. And you have to accept that no matter what it is, because resistance, you can't resist something and expect it to work for you. You have to be in acceptance, allowing mode to make sure that you're on point to get everything that's yours. In due time, you will receive it. Like I said, don't get discouraged if you're waiting tables. Don't get discouraged if you're working at the bank. Don't get discouraged, if you're doing something that's not acting, because eventually you will get there. But this job is helping you to build those characteristics, those traits, to be that ultimate person, that ultimate performer, that superstar that I know that you are. And it comes down to this. My title of today's show is It's Your Career. It's your life. Fuck everything else, right? Because at the end of the day, that is written across the forefront of your mind. That is written in your mind because you know that above all and everything else, no matter what anybody else says, no matter what anybody else tells me, no matter what anybody else tries to make me do, I am going to do what makes my heart sing. I am going to do what elevates me to a higher and higher level of existence and ultimately helps me to contribute it back to other people. I'm going to do that thing that God single-handedly picked me out to do, that I can do so well, so much better than anybody else. I'm going to embrace that wholeheartedly no matter what is going on outside of me. And when you do this, guys, when you embrace that type of mindset, things open up. Things open up for you. I'm going to level with you. I have experienced so much doubt, so much discouragement, so much disappointment from people who've been close to me, from people who I've called friends, from people who I thought had my best interests at heart, telling me why I couldn't do something, telling me why I wasn't qualified for something, telling me why it's wrong to think that I could even begin to pursue this dream that I have. It's not logical. It's not conventional. Well, you know what? Most blessings from God or from the universe that are very specific type dreams aren't logical. You use logic, you'll talk yourself right out of that dream. You don't use logic. You use intuition. You use what you feel in your heart. You let your heart lead you, not your eyes. Right? And when you do that, you will be the one accomplishing the impossible. Because here's what happens. And then I'm going to get ready to go here in just a bit. Here's what takes place. The impossible goes to the possible when you start to believe and you truly believe. And the possible goes to the probable. Now, you know what probable means? Probable means that it's likely, it's going to happen. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We don't even have to know the how, but we know that it's going to happen. You want to get to that level of probability in your life, not necessarily just possibility, because that's one level. We want to take it up a higher level. And you can do that by singling out your sole purpose and doing whatever you need to follow. Now, I'm not telling you to go sell your house or sell all your belongings and just go with it, but I'm telling you to follow your intuition. Go wherever it leads you, even if it doesn't make sense. Once again, logically, there's a higher purpose for it taking place. There's been so many times, and I'm such an intuitive person, so many times I know for a fact I can feel it coming off their bodies when I tell people something that seems completely out of whack, crazy, outlandish, but I know in my heart, this is what my higher self is telling me. This is what my higher self is giving me, and I have to listen, because if I don't listen, I'm going to pay for it in the end, and I've always paid for it in the end, and I've always profited when I've listened to it. And so I'm telling you, listen to that higher self, meditate, pray, get in touch with it. Make sure you're following your intuitive guidance, because if you follow that, you will go down a road. You will go down a journey that will not only profit you, but allow you to profit other people, because you decided to trust in the power that sees all, know all, can be all. And the beauty of it is you are connected to that same power. So I leave you with this, guys. Once again, it's your career. It's your life. Fuck everything else, right? Come to that place of knowing that you will reach your destination, and you don't even have to know the how. You only know that you're going to get there, and you're going to do whatever it takes and refuse to entertain or absorb anything that does not say, okay, that does not say you will accomplish this. You will reach this point. You will get to this destination. Forget about it. Let it go. Turn a deaf ear to it and just stay focused on your vision. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today. It has been an awesome pleasure. Do me a favor. Check out my blog, if you will, at uplifterentertainment.com under the blog section. And you can also check out my acting website at SeanGrantActing.com. Got some great stuff over there for you. Feel free to contact me. You have any questions or anything like that, I'm here for you. It's all about giving back. It's all about making sure that people are rising higher in their careers, but more importantly, in their lives. So with that being said, I am out. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.